So it is probably, I think it was probably at the end of the day when we quit, so you guys are going to do your long rest, perhaps.
All right. To Matasco.
Turn around.
We spent weeks going back and forth between 12 different quests.
Hey, we got some efficiency there. I didn't really think we were going to find that druid. He just happened to be along the road.
All right, Brynn. You know the way to Silverstand. Lead the way.
I lead the way to Silverstand. So you said it's kind of the end of the day?
Oh man, you're totally right, Bob. It is 1d8 extra. That's amazing.
Muted all this time. Yeah, so Ryan, you were right. It was the end of the day. You guys have done all your traveling to get to this part, so you guys can either risk exhaustion or you guys are basically on the foothills, just below where Silverstand is. I'll pull up the map here for us. So kind of like just at the edge of that hex where the fork in the road is, above the frosted tips, is basically where you guys are.
All right. Shall we make camp?
Is it cloudy?
Sounds like a good idea.
Is it cloudy or is it a clear night? Can we see the moon?
It is. There are some clouds in the sky, but you can see the moon, and you can see that it is a crescent moon.
Ooh.
I agree. Making camp would aid us well.
Good.
Who will take the first watch?
I can certainly take the first watch.
Excellent. Well, I'm all tuckered out, so...
Yeah.
I go to bed.
Maybe you can tell us that funny story you told us earlier while we were freeing the druid. You were quite hilarious today, by the way.
All right.
This push to talk is literally killing me.
Just go out to Best Buy tomorrow and buy a headset.
You don't even need a headset, just like earbuds.
Yeah, earbuds.
I have earbuds, but I left them in the bedroom, and Shelby and Theo are sleeping in there, so I don't want to go rummaging around my bed.
Yeah.
Roll stealth check.
Too risky.
Excuse me. All right, so you guys are going to do a long rest, and Brynn's going to take the first watch.
I can take the second watch.
Okay. So let's just get both of the perception checks at once.
All right. Oof.
The night passes, and you don't see any strange or unusual things. Morning arrives. Is fully rested.
What a great sleep.
I'm feeling well rested.
All right.
How many people are muted at this point?
Am I muted?
I don't think I'm muted.
Okay.
No, no.
I'm on manual here.
I didn't hear what you said, Ryan.
I'm on manual.
He's sort of always muted, is what he's saying.
Stay muted. Not only that, but my phone is running out of battery, so I have it dangling from a cord an arm's reach away from the computer, and it's as close as I can get. So it's kind of
That's probably why it's quiet then, maybe.
well, I can pull it close to my face, which is what I've been doing.
Okay.
I wonder where the microphone is. In the top or the bottom? I guess it would make sense for it to be in the bottom. Can you hear me now?
It's pretty much the same, sort of.
Yeah, not too different.
You should probably just go get that headset, right?
Well, fellows,
Headset, so I don't think it'd affect the microphone. And due to the design of my phone, I can't both charge it and have a headset plugged in at the same time.
Oh, it's one of those.
Never buy an Apple product. No, you have an Android phone.
It's Google. Features that you just assume are inherent are now being removed.
Yeah.
yeah.
Victoria's phone's that way too.
Bunch of horse shit.
Technology has entered the downward slope.
Okay.
Well, gentlemen, shall we journey to the peak? Or wherever Silverstand may be?
Let us set off post hastily.
Yes. We're told that a mighty being named Rootheart guards the pass to Silverstand. Do you know of him, Brynn?
I've not heard of Rootart, but would like to meet him.
Well, hopefully he'll be friendly to us after our new friend Hotch has put in a good word for us.
Hotch Aucklet.
Yes.
None other.
We should try and make our way to the center of the forest.
Very well. Lead the way, Brynn. Use your excellent knowledge of where you come from, as well as ranger skills to accomplish this task.
Ranger! Ranger!
Alright.
I use my ranger skill.
You use your ranger skill. Your meditation thing.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so before you guys set out, Brynn takes a moment to focus and align himself with the nature around him. And you do detect humanoids kind of scattered throughout the 5-mile radius. There's some throughout the wooded area around the roads, and here and there throughout the forest foothills of the frosted tips.
I think you're muted.
So it's just a bunch like scattered around. No,
Yeah.
like specific.
You're not quite in range to actually get to Silverstand itself with your ability, but you do capture just kind of scattered humanoids here and there, small groups, maybe 4 or 5 at a time. Most of the time, it's just 1 or 2.
All right, I begin to lead the way towards the center of the forest.
Okay. Can you guys put yourself in like a marching order with Brynn at the front?
I'll follow him in.
I'll be second last. Kelnozz, you look still hurt.
Oh, my bad. Can I have Bims go ahead with Brynn? Like be at the front, but hovering above?
If Bims doesn't know the way, so he can't lead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's kind of like following the tracks.
He can do the perception check for the group, but Brynn is gonna do the survival check
Gotcha.
to get through the forest. All right. So why don't we get both of those then? The survival check from Brynn, if he's gonna lead the way,
And
perception check from Bims, if he's gonna scout ahead.
By the way, who made Apple products? This is awful.
Apple did.
There's no such thing as Alt-Tab. You can't even...
No, you gotta use Clover Tab. No, don't worry, Ryan. I had a Mac. It's all about that Clover key. Oh, it was called Command. That's what it
Command,
was.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Command Q. That sounds good. I don't know why you guys think like Control Q, alright, but like Command Q. That's like get into business.
Brynn, we're still waiting on your survival check here.
I can put my character sheet in a different window, so it blocks my entire view of the
I can roll for him still, I believe. Oh, it's like super laggerino.
The map
Here we
is
go.
affecting us all.
It's survival, right?
Hmm.
Oh, there you go. Either way.
There you go. Okay, so as you guys head up into the foothills of the Frosted Tip Mountain, there's fairly thick wood as you go in, and it's refreshing to you guys to be in a forest that's not dead and being infested by infernal mushrooms. This one seems much more normal, and Vim seems more concerned with flying around the tree branches and chasing after birds and other rodents to be really doing much help in the scouting area.
Standard.
After a few hours of walking under Brynn's steady direction, you happen to notice what looks like a small firefly flying above your heads, and in sun rays that manage to break through the canopy of the late morning sun, you can see that there's faint dust falling, I need Brynn to make a wisdom saving throw. Brynn. Okay. So as you guys keep walking, you all feel this kind of strange feeling, like the forest around you seems to kind of stretch away in your view, and other times pull in close and give you kind of a claustrophobic feel. And the kind of distinguishing marks kind of disappear, and you just feel like you've been walking through the same section of forest for what seems like hours, until you start noticing a section of the forest more and more is getting dark, and the branches on the trees seem to be covered in a thick web.
Nice.
As you guys get close to this clearing, I want everyone to make a perception check.
Perception.
It's my moment to shine, and I failed.
Oof.
Oh. So everyone but Eikooc, as you enter this area, you can hear what sounds like a very high-pitched and mischievous laugh. And Brynn and Theren, you guys can also hear what sounds like rustling in the trees.
Can we tell where the rustling is coming from?
It's coming from the trees around you.
But like, can we ascertain what direction?
You couldn't really get a direction from what you just heard. It was you heard the laughter, and then it does sound like the trees either direction of you are rustling.
Gotcha.
I draw my sword and say, "Who's there? Show yourself."
I shout, "What Theren said!"
Does anyone here speak Sylvan?
I do not.
Nope.
I don't.
Okay. So you hear no response as you call out, and although your mind tells you that it's probably no much more later than a few hours after noon, the forest has grown almost supernaturally dark.
Ooh, there's something not right about this place.
Stay together. We don't want. Say that again, Brynn.
We must travel with caution. There's
Theren, you believe you've been somehow magically misled. This is definitely not the right way to the stone passage that leads to Silverstand. Make a history check, Brynn.
What sort of witchcraft is this?
Okay, you remember that the elves of Silverstand have ways in this forest of protecting itself from detection, but you don't have any specific information about that.
What do you think, Brynn? You led us this far.
You guys are just kind of standing here in the middle of this clearing. You hear the sounds of the scuttling and the laughter.
Be on your guard.
It's just tricks of the forest. But we must proceed with caution. We're looking for the tunnel that leads to the hidden valley.
I believe this place is filled with elven magic. Perhaps we should at least find cover near one of these trees while we plan our next step.
Can I detect any humanoids nearby?
You take a minute to start meditating. While you're meditating, what did you say you wanted to do, Kelnozz?
I was saying, I think we should take cover near one of these trees. We're vulnerable out in the open like this.
Can I also do something?
Of course.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay, so that'll take 10 minutes. Right? Because
Okay.
it'll cast you as a ritual. And Theren, what are you up to?
I just have my sword out. I'm keeping a close watch at the forest around me as these rituals unfold, and I'm guarding these guys.
Okay.
You fools, we stand in the open. We should really look for some sort of cover.
You fools.
Kelnozz and Theren make a perception check.
Good thing I'm very perceptive. Or not.
Where is it? Oh, there. Got it.
Okay, so Kelnozz, you don't really see anything. You feel almost a bit of panic come in you as you realize how out in the open you are. I meant to send these to...
That's what I was trying to say.
I meant to put these on when I was describing the spider webs were on the trees. But Theren, as you were watching as the other two start to take their time to do their magical stuff, you see these long black tree limbs start crawling out, poking out of the trees, and you soon realize that attached to these are the huge bodies of giant spiders.
Oh, God.
Oh, spiders.
They're trying to sneak up on you or sneak through the trees to get a little bit closer to you before striking.
Kelnozz, don't go near the trees. There's spiders in there. That's where they want you to go.
I'm not scared of spiders.
Well,
See the driders of my home world town.
Well,
Town. Sometimes it feels like a whole nother planet, but it's really just underground.
well, nonetheless, these creatures are hideous and are skulking around up there. Fire some arrows into the canopy and see if they chatter after that.
Gladly.
So you probably have just enough time for Brynn to finish his concentration, and you don't get a fundamentally different you don't get a fundamentally different reading than what you did before.
So there's none like in the direct vicinity.
Definitely none in the direct vicinity. I'd say you guys have gotten a little bit closer to Silverstand, and you can detect probably just enough to get to the outskirts, and you probably detect like 100 humanoid elves. So, you guys are all ready here. The spiders are closing in on you, and if you're going to take any kind of surprise action, it is going to have to be now.
Yeah, surprise.
So,
well,
okay, we'll give the surprise round to Theren and Kelnozz, since they were kind of doing nothing while this was happening, and they're ready for the attack. Whereas Brynn, you just kind of finish your concentration before these things kind of get too close.
I'm just doing my ritual.
Yep. So roll initiative, everyone.
Oops.
Oh, damn it.
Oof.
And I don't think I have my token selected.
Yeah, the old token select. Oh, I pretty much got the same number.
Oh, I got a vastly worse number.
We'll use the first one, Kev.
All right.
What was the first one? It was
16.
All right. So, first it would have been Brynn's turn, but he's kind of finishing his concentration. Eikooc would be next. He's doing his ritual. So, Kelnozz. Theren brings your attention to the spiders just as they start to creep close enough to
Can
strike.
I see them?
Yep. You can see. Now that he points them out to you, you can see that there are.
Oof. Ugly bastards.
Yep. Look how gross they are.
Oh.
There are 5 giant spiders about ready to strike.
Okay. We're using grids, right? 5, 10,
Squares,
15?
yeah.
Squares?
Well, I assume they're up in the trees too,
Yeah.
so bear that in mind.
Theren, check this out. I point my hand over at the 2 trees to the right of us, and I channel my drow purple swirly energy and fire off a hypnotic pattern. I assume that these 3 dudes are all within a 30-foot cube if I kind of throw it right in the middle of them.
I think
Between the
that's
2
pretty
trees?
safe to say, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so they need to do
Wisdom saving throw?
a wisdom saving throw, yeah. On a failed save, the creature becomes charmed for the duration.
Okay, that was the top one, so moving down. Okay, so
It only worked on...
probably just one.
my spell DC is 15, so
Okay.
yeah, 2 saves.
So the bottom one, all of its eyes seem to glaze over at the hypnotic pattern that your magic creates, and it just kind of becomes catatonic, standing there.
I'm playing it videos in its head of people stepping on spiders.
All right. There.
Well, and as a bonus action, I'm going to hit Theren the Twine Maker with Combat Inspiration. Thanks for alerting me to the spider's presence. Now go chop him in 2 pieces.
I believe you meant to say entwine.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
So it is Theren's turn then.
I the spiders. I'll be mounted on Luna, but I eye the spiders above nervously. I think I will cast Bless on Brynn and Kelnozz.
Nice.
Yeah, you can add another.
And
person.
myself as well. Yeah.
There you go.
It's the eye of the spider.
All right. Theren holds up his hand, and copper lightning crackles around it, and in a flash, there's a brief crack of copper lightning around himself, Kelnozz, and Brynn. You said,
Yep. Kelnozz, Brynn, and myself.
and you feel the might of Moraganor guiding you.
Yeah.
All right. Now, regular
Definitely my favorite deity.
regular round. Oh, you gonna move it all, Theren?
No, I think I'll stay here.
Okay. So now it is back up to Brynn's turn.
Alright, I ready my bow. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on the top.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bow the crap out.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
Oof.
Bam.
23's definitely hit.
This guy's not messing around.
So 14 damage plus a blast.
Your bless would have gone to your attack roll had you needed it, but it doesn't. Okay, so your arrow takes the spider and seems to deal it a very grievous blow. You can see some kind of greenish blood leaking out of the puncture wound.
And I use my hail of arrows to fire a second shot at the other spider that's nearby.
Okay.
Does 16 hit?
A 16 does hit.
So that's 7.
All right. You can hear it cry out in pain. It doesn't seem to be quite as hurt as the first spider.
And I attack the first spider again.
Holy shit.
Absolute murderer.
All right, 19 hits.
Wow.
That is a good amount of damage.
The creature falls out of the tree, dead.
And I use my Hunter Conclave to fire at the other one that was there.
It's not a bonus action, is it? Just to be sure.
No, sure. It counts in the same attack.
Oh, it's like when you kill something, you can attack again or something?
When I attack something, I can attack another one within 5 feet
Jeez.
That's awesome.
Orbs caught onto it quickly and started spreading them out. But these were
It's like when the sorcerer unlocks Fireball for the first time, the DM has to like reset all the shit.
You're talking about the Hordebreaker, right? When you make when you make a weapon attack, you can make another attack with the same weapon against a different creature. It says once on each of your turns.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
So you can't do it twice, is what I'm saying.
Ooh. You're right.
You only managed to kill one spider on your turn.
You kill all the spiders by chaining attacks.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Ryan's motto.
That's amazing.
Alright, so for the next turn... Okay, so now the spiders are going to get to go. Seeing their opportunity is either now or never.
Ooh.
The
Opportunistic spiders.
Worst kind of spider?
So, first spider is going to the one that Brynn just shot with an arrow. It's going to move down, descends down the ground, and it's going to come down out there. And when it reaches the ground, it rears up and spits a web at Theren. Theren, you're on your horse right now?
Yeah.
Okay, just try to put that there. Alright, so what's your AC again, Theren?
18.
18. Oh. Excuse me. So this thick web shoots out of its mouth, and you manage to slice up with your greatsword just in time to cut it away from where it would have fallen all over you, and instead just falls harmlessly to your sides. This spider is going to do the same, pretty much. And he's going to try and spit this at Brynn. Oh, that's definitely not good. And this one's going to come close and try and do it on Eikooc. Oh, even worse. These spiders, pardon?
Yeah, it was mesmerized.
Yeah, one of the ones here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you. That's right. That one would have been stuck there.
Hey, Borbs, if you're not cheating, you're not
There
trying.
you go.
Nice.
So 10, 20, 30. Alright. Well, it's not going to make too much of a difference. Except I have one less spider to mess around with. Okay. So, we'll just use a sit the first two rolls. So these webs just miss you guys. These spiders kind of crawl out of the trees and start shooting their webs, but because your group kind of got the drop on them, they're not quite ready, and the webs fall short.
Yeah.
All right. You guys hear that same kind of high-pitched laughter again, and I need everyone here to make a strength check.
Ooh,
Save.
that's interesting. Oof.
Oh, critical strength.
Yuck, so strong.
Add plus 1d4 2
I
saving
have
throws.
8.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yep.
Everybody?
Everybody, well,
No.
not you.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Kevin, that's a double fail.
Wow. The double 1. Or no, 4. Never mind. Plus 1.
Okay. So. So these, as you hear this laughter, the ground around you starts to writhe and grow, and the vines and the leaves start to expand and start wrapping themselves around your feet. Almost everyone manages to step out of them and stomp on them and stop them from wrapping around your legs. But Kelnozz is not able to, and the vines wrap up and restrain him as they kind of wrap around your arms and legs.
Save me.
All right. Next is Eikooc turn.
Oh, man.
So all the area around you is a difficult terrain now.
Difficult terrain, eh? Let me just see about that. Okay. I am going to... first, if I look around real quick, do I see, like, normal-sized spiders as well?
Yeah, make a. Well, you can't see any normal-sized spiders, but your great intellect would tell you they probably are there, but you're going to need to get closer to the webs and such to see them.
Okay. I don't need to see them. I just need to raise them. I'm going to cast... Giant Insect, and I'm going to raise 3 giant spiders using my Staff of Swarming Insects.
Ooh.
Okay. Where are you going to aim this effect?
I guess at the webbing over to the right.
Okay. So Kelnozz grips his staff, and Matt, you have to remember to roll charges for that next time, or in the morning. But I'm sure you had enough.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah. So the silvery light flies out of it and zooms towards these webbing-covered trees, and a moment later, you see 3 large spiders just kind of grow, pop onto the tree branches, and one of them falls down and lands harmlessly on its feet.
All right.
Do you control these things, Kev?
Oh yeah, each creature obeys your verbal commands in combat
Nice.
and act on my turn each round.
Perfect.
So, fight fire with fire. All right. Can I make them go now?
I guess it doesn't
really say.
No? Just let me cough for a second. Okay, so I'll say yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
What's your command?
I command them to attack the spiders closest to us.
Okay.
See, I was thinking of being clever and like telling them to communicate in spider language to like tell them to go away, but I'll not do that.
Okay, so this spider is going to take its... It'll go 10, 20, 30, and it tries to crawl up on this spider and take a bite of it. And manages to sink its fangs into this spider, causing some green blood to sprout up around the fangs. Let's see. It's saving throw.
Can they poison each other?
Yes, looks like we can. Oh, right. So that spider does not look very happy. And twitches after the bite as if it's maybe suffering a bit from the venom. And now this one is going to go 10, 20, 30, 40. $60. Can't believe it made it there. And it's its dash, so we'll have to try go next turn. And this will go 10, 20, 30. It's not quite close enough to attack the spiders closest to you. And now it is not your turn, I believe. Unless you want to move.
Yeah, I will.
And you guys can see this box. So just remember that's all difficult terrain.
Yeah, I'm only gonna just kind of adjust myself backwards here, 5 feet or so. That's all for me.
Okay. Next up is Kelnozz.
All right, I'm gonna take a step towards this one. Is he on the ground?
Kelnozz, Didn't you have a little situation there to deal with?
Yeah, Kelnozz, you are restrained
Oh fuck!
from all the vines.
Well, luckily I have my handy hand crossbow.
Okay, so you can take your attack with your crossbow, but it'll be at disadvantage.
I'll shoot at this one here with disadvantage. Pew! Fuck.
As you try and aim at the spider, the vines seem to tighten and you hand jerks, missing it completely.
Little jerk in the hand. Combat inspiration to Brynn.
Excellent.
That is my second one, so I have 2 more of those. And that's the end of my turn. I suck in combat.
Kelnozz, you are, or not Kelnozz, but Theren, you're up.
Okay,
Now,
I will.
Now, Theren, remember you need to decide which order you and your horse go.
Okay, the Luna will go first because she'll move me around. So I'll go 10, 20, 5, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And I will attack. Are either of these looking... This one's looking a little sad, right?
Yeah, the one that is to your south is just finished getting bit by the one that Eikooc summoned and is twitching.
All right, so Luna's turn. Let's see. She had to. Well, that was just her move, wasn't it? She will just take the dodge action, I guess,
Okay.
and then I will go, and I will size up a mighty swing. So it'll be -5, but +10 damage if it hits. So I'll see if I need to boost it. So do this. Oh god, it's gonna need some major boosts. Might not even be worth spending the. Oops. 1.
Ooh, 8, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
D8.
it's pretty garbage. Well, it's a 10, but I think I'm just going to leave it at that because that was pretty horrible.
That's right. You wind back for a very heavy blow, but the spider is too keen for you and darts back as you take a heavy swing.
Alright, I'll try that again, and this time not roll hot garbage. Not much better. Only 5. I roll 1d4 for bless. Okay, so we're up to 9. But I'm gonna need more. Combat inspiration is 1d8. Is it?
Yes.
9. I probably need a good like.
Why do you have 9, sir? You rolled a 10 here?
So it's 10 minus 5 is 5.
Oh, right. Okay.
Plus 4 is 9. Should I go for it? I guess I'll go for it because that's gonna be my turn otherwise. It's kind of a long shot, but come on!
14. You hit.
I hit! Oh yeah! Whew! Alright.
That was worth it.
Oh, hang on. How do I get damage now? Let me just, Oh, did I click the wrong thing? Because it should come with a little, like... Oh, I clicked the word greatsword. That's right. Okay. I'll re-roll the 2. Oh, same thing. So that's 10, so that's 20 damage to that spider.
You hack off one of its legs, and it dies. Just falls to the
Ooh, I was
ground,
hoping for that.
continuing to twitch.
Because I killed it, I will then use my bonus action with Great Weapon Strike to swing at this other one. But this one's going to be a normal swing, so no negative
Okay.
modifiers. 12. Oop, I need some help with the old 1d4. Oh, 13. I don't know.
13 does not hit.
Oh, 14's the magic number, boys. At least I did some scouting there. Well, we know it's 14.
Yeah. Got the lay of the land.
Yeah.
All right, Brynn, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to walk. Ignoring the difficult terrain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna fire my bow at the one that Theren was fighting.
Nice.
All right, 17 hits.
Then I'll use my Cork Breaker to fire at the one behind him.
That one's mesmerized, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's my 8 on 3 at this point, though.
Okay.
Oh.
With 18 hits.
Unless you were planning on restraining him and interrogating him. With spiders.
Nope,
Roll
I didn't
damage.
speak their nonsense language, so...
Your arrow flies to the trees, hits the spider, and shakes it out of its stupor. Okay.
That's it for me.
Spider's turn. First things first. Okay. So these spiders are going to scuttle up here and do an attack on Kelnozz.
Don't do it.
What's your AC again?
My AC is 14.
Okay. Because you're restrained, this is going to be at advantage.
Oof.
Right, so take 7 piercing damage and make a Constitution saving throw.
Ouch.
You take 4 poison damage.
Well, there goes a third of my health. This is the time I survive the combat. I can feel it.
Okay, this creature is going to try and bite Theren. Does that hit you, Theren?
Ooh, my AC is 18, so I think that
It
is a
definitely
hit,
does,
right?
yeah. Take 7 piercing damage. Do a Constitution saving throw.
Seven. Sorry, what was that?
Yep, 7 piercing damage and 4 poison damage.
7 and 4 poison. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And this creature
There it is.
is...
The Constitution of a celestial horde.
I guess this creature will... You know what, it's going to come up here and try and attack that one. 'Cause that's the one that bit the other spider. Yeah, makes sense. Definitely hit my own monsters. So it does 7 damage to that spider. Oh man. Takes full poison damage as well. So that spider begins twitching a bit. Okay. Next, you guys hear that laughter again, but this time you see as what you saw as the firefly earlier seems to have followed you, and with the stamina of battle, you can actually see that this is a tiny creature. It looks like almost like a tiny woman who has green butterfly wings. And she says something in an unintelligible language and snickers, pointing at Eikooc. Eikooc, you don't know Sylvan, do you?
I don't.
Okay, make a wisdom saving throw as this creature shoots this kind of gold dust at you. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay. She kind of turns up her nose in frustration as you started to feel your body kind of shift and become loose, but you focus your will and manage to bring yourself feeling back to normal.
I'm not sure if I lost out on something interesting there or not. But that would...
I'll just tell you, it was a polymorph spell.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
That would have been terrible.
So that is that guy's turn. So, Eikooc, it's now your turn.
2 can play at that game. I don't know polymorph though.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a pretty high level spell.
And it's level 4, I believe.
Okay. Alright. I guess I'll command my dudes after I do my action, I guess. I will cast a spell. I will cast. I'm going to cast Scorching Ray at the little nymph type thing, whatever it is.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your attacks.
That is a miss. There's a hit. Probably.
25 is certainly a hit, yeah.
Yeah, that's a miss. 1 out of 3. 6 damage. Fire damage.
Okay. So doesn't really take much. The fire ray that you hit it with is like the same size of its body, and there's just a trail of smoke behind it as your fire ray disappears, and it seems to have been incinerated.
Yeah.
Take that.
Murder that little thing. Do the spiders disappear? Are they? Are they?
Nope, they do not disappear.
Okay.
Your spiders have their turn now.
All right. I tell my spiders to attack the other spiders as easily, as best as you can.
Okay, so the one on the left here that's attacking Kelnozz. Ooh. Misses. The one that just got bit is going to try and retaliate. And hits. So it takes miss. 7 piercing damage.
Ouch.
See, it's convenient for Bob that they're all spiders, so he's only on one page of the monster manual.
Yeah. Oh man. I keep failing all these rolls. So your spider bites this other spider back as good as it got, and the spider twitches and seems uneasy on its spindly legs. And this one is going to try and take a bite out of that. One facing Theren. Misses. Okay, now it is Kelnozz's turn. Kelnozz, you notice that the vines shrink away and are no longer holding you, as
Oh, nice.
the creatures controlling it is now dead.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then what I will do is I'll make. I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on the spider who's standing next to me.
Okay.
So he's going to do a DC 15 Wisdom saving and hopefully fail.
Does.
Yeah, so he takes 5 psychic damage and has disadvantage on his next attack. And that is the end of my turn.
Excellent. Alright, so now it's Luna and Theron's turn. Scott sounds like he's muted himself.
Oh, hello? Oh, I did mute myself. How about that?
So weird.
How unusual. Okay, I was going to say, I'd like to go first this time, and I'm going to attack this spider that's in front of me with a regular, like, well-aimed strike.
Okay.
We'll see if we can...
All right.
Critical strike.
Go ahead and roll your critical damage.
I will re-roll the 1. There's a single 1 in all that. So that's +3 basically. So 23.
23. Your sword digs in deep in through its mandibles, and the full 4 feet of your sword goes deep into the spider. when you pull it
Holy
out,
shit.
the spider is limp and dead.
Wow, feeling pretty good about that.
What a great sword.
Classic. Alright, how am I gonna do this? This is very awkward now. Do I get off Luna, move, and attack this other one, or do I? Because then I have to get back on in order to go over there. Well, you guys will handle that, so I'll do that. I'll get off, and then walk just like 5 feet here and
It's
attack.
it's half your movement to get off your horse, I think, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just do that, and then I have 5 left, and or more than 5, and attack this other spider. It's another
Alright.
well-aimed blow. Hopefully, just as well-aimed as last time.
Well, 22 certainly hits, and that creature is nearly dead, so you don't need to worry about re-rolling anything. Your great sword, already covered with the ichor of spider guts, puts to death that spider as well.
Nice. And then half my moves. So, well, Luna will just come to me and take the dodge action.
Okay. Brynn, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to fire my bow.
Okay. $11. You still have that. Oh, there you go. You unfortunately miss. The arrow goes wide.
I'll use my second attack to attack it again.
Your second arrow flies true. 12 damage. As the creature reels back in psychic damage from Kelnozz, you manage to catch it with an arrow in its hind, and it squeals out in pain, but it doesn't fall. Barely staying on its feet. Anything else on your turn, Brynn?
No, that's it.
Okay, this creature is going to take the dash action. So, Kelnozz, go ahead and make your attack of opportunity if you so wish.
Yep. So I'm going to do that with my rapier. Ah, yes,
Okay,
finally.
you killed that.
Yes.
So it tries to skitter away, but Kelnozz with a flourish manages to stab it with your rapier, and
Is it possible to spool up some of the web out of the butt area? Is if like ideally having enough to make some sort of article of clothing out of it?
where are you planning on putting this?
Like a scarf around my neck.
I meant where are you going to put it before you make it?
In my backpack.
Okay, well,
Next to the rotting hides.
Yeah, it should go with the rest of the rotting hides.
that's in your hole. So make
It's
a survival check when you're ready to try and harvest some of the spider silk. Everything just comes apart when you touch it. It just like
God
dissolves in your hands. All right.
I tell my spiders to give Kelnozz some spider silk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's your AC, Kelnozz?
14.
The one closest to you
This one here?
Yeah. Spits a huge web at you. And covers you and makes it hard for you to move. The other two spit webbing on the ground near your feet. And you are restrained.
Ugh.
Very good, spiders. I dismissed that. There you go, Kelnozz. Just what you wanted.
Well, it's not exactly what I had in mind. Can I like slowly cut off little pieces of it?
Mm. You can, but you'll have to be doing it at disadvantage. If you want to try and get loose of the web without ruining it. Make your strength check with a disadvantage.
Ugh.
You feel like you can get loose, but you stop yourself because you'll know you'll destroy this webbing in the process.
This is a dilemma. I'll wait until after the fight to resolve this.
The fight's over. You guys seem to have dealt with all of the threats in the area.
Then I very carefully cut a piece of the web out as to maintain its consistency, but I'm still like probably trapped.
So
Is that like a
what I'll say
dexterity or
is,
something?
no, see, now that the threat is over, you can just, if you want, you can just kind of take 10, so to speak, and your character can get out, but it'll just take him a bit of time
Okay.
to actually do it. So Kelnozz is kind of slowly
Cutting myself out.
cutting himself and stretching himself out of this web. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Can I search in the webs to see if there's any unwitting travelers that have been trapped that may have
Ooh.
Make a investigation check, and anyone else who's also searching can do the same.
I'm gonna go search the little corpse of that little nymph.
There is no corpse. It was incinerated.
I'm gonna go check the ashes.
You never know.
Make a nature check. So you kind of only got a brief glimpse, but based off of what you did see, you are pretty sure that it was a pixie.
Pixie.
But there are, like, it literally just, it was incinerated. There are no ashes. You go into that area and you look, and there doesn't seem to be any hints. It had 1 hit point, and you did 8 fire damage.
That's really fun.
Okay, so as Brynn is searching through the web, you look a little bit deeper into the trees, and you notice that there are these large, wrapped up bodies suspended in the web. There's 4 of them, and they all seem to be humanoid of normal height and build, but they're completely enshrouded in this spider silk, so you can't see anything about them.
Can I try to cut through the spider silk?
Yep. Make a how are you gonna do it? These things are kind of like suspended in the trees. Excuse me, in the tree branches.
I'm going to use my dagger and slowly cut up the cocoon that's been... Being careful not to stab anybody in the face on the other side.
Okay. Do you have it? You're gonna have to climb the tree to get up there. So do you have any special climbing abilities that I should remember?
all the special climbing abilities.
Okay. Otherwise, just take a athletics check.
Could we call it difficult terrain?
We could, but we'd be lying to ourselves.
Touche.
It's not a hard tree to climb. You feel pretty confident. Now that I said that, you roll one though.
Even to the person who fell off the pirate ship trying to climb up a rope ladder.
You scamper up quite easily, and with your dagger, you're able to slice through the webbing, and in short order, the 4 bodies fall to the ground unceremoniously.
The 4 people or creatures are obviously dead.
Not obviously dead. No, all you can tell is that they're just the shape of bodies, and they look like they could be the same height of any kind of human or elf or one of the taller races.
Alright, well, first I'm going to check to see if there's any signs of life.
Okay, make a medicine check with disadvantage. You notice that the creatures, whatever they are very still and don't seem to be moving. You're fairly certain anything inside of this is likely to be dead. So while Brynn is doing this, you guys see him find these bodies and they slump to the ground. What are you guys all doing? Kelnozz, you kind of now just finally getting free of the web.
Ah, thank God. Maybe someone can help me quilt this into something warm for the winter seasons. Come, Bims. Bims comes by, and I roll up this big webbing into like a big ball and firmly attach it to Bim's back. And so he's carrying it around. Makes him fly a little bit awkwardly.
He looks a little embarrassed.
He definitely does. Come, Bims! And he clumsily flies and follows me around.
Alright.
Brynn, you didn't tell me there'd be spiders everywhere. Perhaps we should carry on before any more foul creatures come out from the bushes.
Indeed. This was a chance encounter, I'm sure. Let's continue on the road. Or, not so much the road. The way to Silverstand.
The path. Lead the way, Brynn.
Are you guys just going to leave the bodies where they are? Wrapped up in...
Gonna search them.
Okay, make an investigation check. Okay, so using your dagger, you slice into the silk cocoons that have been woven around these bodies, and after a few minutes, you reveal 4 humans, 4 men that looks like they've been dead for a couple days, perhaps. They're very pale and have kind of like these dark green splotches on throughout their skin. One of them is wearing, well, they're all wearing the insignia of the Seaton township, and one of them is wearing a copper shoulder pad that has been put over his, that he's wearing. Perhaps might have been the leader. Another one seems a bit older and has a fancier chain shirt on it, made out of normal steel, but it looks like it's in immaculate condition in comparison to the rest of the belongings on these bodies, which seem to have been kind of almost corroded away from some kind of acid.
Sort of magical chain shirt, perhaps.
Can we see how they died?
Sure. You can make a medicine check, Kelnozz.
I have a feeling they were attacked by spiders.
Probably right.
You can't quite put your finger on it. And perhaps they're the spiders. But you never know.
Could have been nothing.
Theren and Eikooc, what are you guys going to do as Brynn opens up these cocoons?
I ready an attack. Well, I don't know. Maybe not.
I just need to change shirt and say, do you want me to have a look at that? I can't wear it, but I could take a look at it.
Can we remove the chain shirt and let you fondle it? Fondle the chain?
Yep, it takes some maneuvering of the corpse that's inside of it, but you guys are able to relieve it, unbind it and pull it off of the body of the human. As you do so, you notice that he was carrying a holy symbol of Cormac Fairhand.
What was it? Cormac Fairhand?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know who that is?
This is the group from. This is the people from Seaton. Our good friend, led by our good friend Jerky Mc, spit in their face. Janelle Marshwater. I think I got that right.
Can we actually identify them as those people, or are they just like generic? We don't recognize them. Or are they unrecognizable?
You don't recognize them. It's definitely not. Get that right. So I also have it here.
Yeah, not the actual person, but just hit their people.
They've
Definitely.
already made it.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
I said definitely. The guys are all wearing an insignia of the Seaton Township, and then
The Fair Hands.
and they're carrying the holy symbol of the Fair Hands.
They've already made it to the forest.
Hopefully the rest of them have met with the same fate. as
Yes.
these.
We can only hope.
All right. I guess I have the chain shirt now, I guess.
You do? Yep.
All right.
Do you do anything with it?
I would like to look at it very closely, and we have a few minutes. I would identify it if we're going to sit, but if we're not, I will wait to identify it later.
It's up to you guys.
You guys want to rest for like 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Short rest?
It actually only takes 1 minute, I guess.
No, it takes 10 minutes to catch it as a ritual.
But it is itself
yeah.
a ritual. Yeah.
Okay. Either way, fair enough. It takes 1 minute. Okay, so you guys are going to do a short rest or no?
A short rest would be nice. I'm pretty hurt.
Okay.
Allow me to spend some hit dice.
So
And as long as we do it for 10 minutes, I can play my heal song. Song of Rest?
yeah, well, a short rest is an hour, so you guys do your short rest, and for the first minute of that short rest, Eikooc completes the ritual of Identify and notices that there's a minor enchantment on this chain shirt, and it is extra strong against attacks. It's a +1.
It's a +1 chain shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Would anyone like a extra strong chain shirt?
Well, it certainly would offer me 5% more survivability.
Can you wear it?
Chain shirt? I think so.
It is medium.
Yeah, I have medium armor proficiency.
Here you go.
Only because I took the College of Valor.
Nice.
Damn, this is awesome. All right, thanks. It's called the chain shirt.
Yep. +1 chain shirt.
+1 chain
You
shirt.
could probably drag it from the inventory thing.
That's what I'm gonna do.
T-shirts, yeah. If you search chain shirt, it'll just come up with chain shirt +1, chain shirt +2, 3, and you just drag them.
Chain shirt +1. Throw that into my.
It might even
Inventory.
automatically add to your AC. I don't know.
AC is not unequipped. Oh, unequipped extra armor or shields from details. Okay.
It's all about the dragging.
Yeah.
So after about an hour, you guys manage to get some rest and regain your composure. And Brynn starts leading you guys through the forest with now more of a clear head, having realized that pixie had perhaps enchanted you guys and caused you guys to get confused. And after a few more hours, you notice that the ground has been getting more and more steep, and the Rocky Mountains in the background getting closer and closer. And you come to an area where the mountain just seems to then grow out of the ground, and there's a large cliff face that seems very hard to scale. And Brynn points in the distance to a spot where a giant tree stands.
Oh.
Is this
Is the
root heart?
tree root heart?
The tunnel to the Silverstand.
And in front of the tunnel is this large tree. Now, Ryan, I meant to send this part to you earlier, but your character did know about Rootheart, who is the guardian of this passageway. And you know that he is a treant. So, when you guys are ready, what do you guys do?
How do you should
Guarded by Rootheart, the tree, whom I forgot about earlier in the confusion of the picture. We need to find a peaceful way to get through the tunnel and over to Silverstand.
Let us proceed.
Tally ho.
How far away is it? The tree ahead of us?
Just over yonder.
You can see it probably 50 feet away, 60 feet away. So for how close you want to get, it's up to you.
From here, can we see its general disposition?
From here, all you see is a giant tree. It looks like a normal tree.
Okay. I will start walking towards it.
Brynn, how do we get past this tree? Is there any special things that we have to do?
That's an excellent question. I would suggest we be friendly and cordial and do things that trees like to do. A little bit of waving in the wind, growing.
Surprisingly.
Photosynthesis? Don't worry. I will represent the group.
Ah, yes, this is gonna go well. I stand back.
I would like to disguise myself as a tree. Oh, that maybe won't work. It says,
You could make yourself look like someone who's cast bark skin.
could I minor illusion myself into a tree?
Which really that would be offensive.
You can minor illusion a 5-foot tree in a space and then stand in that space.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Wait, we have to walk up to the treant and say, "Hey, look over here," and then you can walk behind him and turn into a tree, and then say, "Oh well, we have many friends. This guy right here."
So as you
It's a pretty good idea.
cast this minor illusion and step into the tree space, the tree does nothing.
Okay, I will move forward with the tree, still being at the center of it. And I say, "Greetings, brother."
A few moments pass. Doesn't seem to be responding.
Ooh, the wind calls to me today. Have you heard news of the forest?
Slowly you see this knot on the tree twitch and open, and this wood-like eye looks, and in a deep and low voice, the tree seems to grumble and says, "Who goes there?"
Why, it is I, Tree. A treant, much like yourself, but from a different part of the woods.
Well met, Keltree. And a fine tree as you are. Ha! Ha! Ha!
I blush slightly.
Is that my friend Brynn, who has brought you here?
Yes. I'd like to introduce you to my friends. Don't be shy, and I use one of my long branchy arms to motion the group over here.
I guess we approach. I kind of follow Brynn's lead.
Yeah, I'm with Brynn, not with this tree weirdo.
You must have been my friend. I told him this whole tree face thing would be offensive.
I mean only the most respect. I didn't want to alarm you, thinking there might be interlopers in your forest, so I took the form of something you'd find most familiar and friendly, as we are familiar and friendly as well.
It's been some time since I've been startled.
I tend to have that effect on people.
Are interlopers in this forest. But I knew of your journey here, since you left Burrow.
How is that possible?
Hmm. Uh. 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 Real Treants have their ways. Our roots go deep and far. Ha! Ha! Ha!
Then you also know why we came.
Hmm. Why did you come? And who did you bring with you?
It seems there was a bit of a mix-up at a town called Seaton, and the not necessarily the exact whereabouts, but the existence of Silverstand was brought to light to a group that was most interested in eradicating elves from this land.
Hmm. Grave news indeed.
So we followed the path here to ensure that Silverstand remains safe. With me, I've brought Theren. He's a half-elf and a true friend. We also have Eikooc,
Well
who is
met, Theren.
Thank you, noble guardian.
Servant of Moraganor.
He
Yes.
is so wise.
You
We've also
are welcome here.
it's like we've also brought Eikooc. He's a curious creature, but knows much of the ways of magic.
Well met, Eikooc. From the land to the south, you are welcome here, but may travel no further.
Ooh.
Oh. That's most
And
unfortunate.
we have also brought my curious friend here, Kelnozz.
Keltree!
Sorry, there's a motorcycle going by here. Kelnozz likes to call himself first mate, but I would not agree that he is first rate. He, too, is an elf of the Dark Pines.
I will choose to end the mere illusion.
Kelnozz.
It was me all along.
Child of Inza Pitchglade. You can all make a religion check at the mention of that name. You can do it at advantage, Sniper. Oh, you don't need it with 17.
What was the name again?
It was Inza Pitchglade. And this is the Dark Elven Goddess.
Ah.
She is essentially the Loth equivalent.
Oh, okay. She's the drow equivalent of this god?
She's the Dark Elf. She's the Elven Goddess who separated from the other Elven gods and created the Dark Elves. You are welcome here.
Thank you, friend. Rootheart, how long have you lived here in these?
In these woods, many,
Yes.
many years. Since the mountains were small. Ha! 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 I don't know, come to think of it.
Have you heard of Brynn?
Brynn Isosceles, of course. He hails from Silverstand. I was wondering when you would return.
Do you know if there's been any ne'er-do-wells in the area? Is Silverstand safe?
Silverstand is safe. But men do wander the forest in greater numbers.
I trust you continue to protect the secrecy of Silverstand.
None without elven blood have passed through this passage.
Perhaps we could make an exception for our friend Eikooc. He's truly taken a risk by traveling with us in the outside world where elves are frowned upon. I consider him a brother.
Eikooc seems to have a kind heart, but it is his blood that precludes him from entering. The exception is not mine to make.
Perhaps we could play a game of chance for it.
Ah! 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 No game will entertain me or sway me from my duties.
I will make one more offer, in which, if you refuse, I will no longer waste your time. Will you hear me, wise Rootheart?
I'm listening.
I start to tear up a little bit. My best friend in the whole world, Bims. Perhaps he could be of service to you, give you more ability to survey the forest while maintaining guard here at the cave. I would offer him to you if you would allow Eikooc to proceed.
Dry your eyes, Kelnozz. I have many such helpers already, and I can tell Bims would be very sad to leave you.
As would I, Tyr. Very well, Rootheart. I have offered you all of my possessions in the world, and I respect your decision. I will return to the rest of the group.
Well, it appears that the rest of you could go through, but I must stay behind.
A captain is no captain without his crew. That's what a real first mate would say. Hey, yuck.
Now, let me just jog your guys' memory. Something was said about getting entrance into this place when you saved Hotch.
Ooh, let's see if I have that.
Hotch said he would leave a good word for us, basically. I didn't write anything else down about that.
You guys mean Hedge?
That's
Hatch?
right. Hatch.
One more thing, Rootart. Perhaps you've spoken to Hotch.
Hotch. Auklet.
The furball Hotch chocolate.
Sounds delicious.
He arrived in Silverstand last night, but has already departed.
Did he tell you of our bravery in rescuing him?
He did not stop to speak with me, and flew over the mountains. I was quite worried that he would have harm done to him when he was taken into the drowned forests where my roots cannot go. Perhaps he spoke to Aramil or Kafim of your feats.
Would one of them have the authority to grant Eikooc entrance?
Only Aramil has authority.
Where can we find Aram?
Aramil is usually found in the Elven Temple.
Elven Temple?
Maybe I can send a little bird to speak with him.
Yes, we would like to meet him.
We would be very grateful.
The tree closes his eyes for a moment, and a second later, a robin lands on one of its branches and makes some quick tweets before flying off high over the mountains,
What did the tweet sound like?
like a robin tweeting. Won't be long now.
Wow.
Well played.
The realism.
So you guys,
Immersion.
excuse me. So what are you guys gonna do? Just gonna.
Let's go speak to Aram? Aramil? Aramil.
His friends call him Aram.
Aramil.
I ask Rootart, do you have any sense of where these humans that have been coming to the forest searching around are camped, or if they have a outpost nearby that they're grouping at?
The Pixies and the Forest Watch deal with them. Many have been delivered to the spiders that dwell in the south, or in the north. There are no men in the forest now that my roots can sense. I sense that you killed the spiders.
We had no choice. They pounced upon us like rabid spiders.
Yes, most regrettable. I'm sure they were just doing their nature.
We did
But
leave 3 new ones in their place.
that is true.
So that's not bad.
Shouldn't be long now.
How long do you think it will take, Rootheart?
Well, the Robin was unladen.
Wow.
After about an hour, the Robin returns and makes a few tweeting noises. And Roothard says, "Okay, got the green light here." And he starts lumbering out of the way.
It's a very modern euphemism.
Alright, let's go through. I say my thank yous as I pass by him.
Yuck. You are welcome now.
Thank you.
I nod in respect as I pass.
Alright, you guys pass through the passageway. It is a fairly narrow stone passage that has some carvings on the inside of it that depict mostly the elven pantheon. You guys can make a religion check if you want to try and discern more.
Ugh, man. Garbage.
Okay. So Theren,
All the real elves know nothing about it.
Theren, you can see that each of the main good elven gods seem to have a kind of depiction here, and it's depicting a feast that seems to be being put on for the moon goddess, Frula Stardancer. And in kind of the center of the carving here in the wall, there is what appears to be a depiction of a pond with a tall white tower standing up out of the middle of the pond. After about half an hour of walking, you guys manage to, walking up a steep incline through this passage, you come out into a valley. And this is the valley of Silverstand, where Brynn grew up. And Ryan, I don't know if you remember the picture I showed you a couple weeks ago. But the Silverstand is a valley where kind of has sparsely built buildings. It's dominated by, it's dominated by this pond in the center of the forest that is perfectly still and usually quite clear, except when the full moon touches the water. And then Brynn tells you a tall, smooth white tower appears in the water's surface. So overlooking this pond is an elven temple that's built overlooking the pond with a large balcony that extends over the water and meets the white tower when it appears on the pond. The main structure of the elven temple is an arched hall lined with large windows, and there are 6 kind of wooden buildings throughout the valley, and usually there's a lot of room, and probably only a couple hundred elves would be living here at any one time, perhaps not more than 200 at the greatest time. And as Brynn and the party enters the valley, a very different scene is waiting for you. The air, usually crystal clean in the mountain air, is choked with the smell of campfires. And you can barely see the silvery sheen on the trees that gives Silverstand its name. If you guys scroll down here. And Brynn, you see that the population of Silverstand has exploded. And as you look down into the valley, you guys can see anywhere where there's any space, there are small tents and cook fires and elven people huddled around. After you take a moment to concentrate, Brynn, you know that there are almost 1,500 elves living in Silverstand.
Much has changed in this place.
It appears that the rest of the world is less accepting of elves. Perhaps they've all found some refuge here.
Okay, so what's your guys' plan?
Perhaps we should speak with Aramil, the High Priest?
Well, and this picture is accurate for the moon. There's a large crescent moon hanging over the moon pond.
It's beautiful.
You guys can see the white elven temple in the distance, which is where Rootard told you that Aramil would likely be.
Brynn, can you point out some famous landmarks from your hometown?
It all looks so different with all these campfires. It used to be much more sparsely populated. We should go speak with Aramil. He or she will tell us much.
Very well. Let us meet some of our elf brothers.
So you guys start descending into the valley, walking into Silverstand. As you walk, you're getting quite a bit of attention. And every time you walk past a campfire or a tent, you see the desperate and, in some cases, confused and angry looks of elves as they stare up at you. And you see that most of these elves have basically nothing to them. They have all their possessions, perhaps, they carry on their back or stuffed into a very small tent. As you walk through them in Elven, some of them start begging from you and asking for if you have any food or water or change. As you,
Kelnozz, help these brothers out.
Very well. I attempt to
It's very
pickpocket
first meet thing to do.
I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Said it's a very first mate thing to do.
It is indeed. Allow me to reach into my pocket.
What are you doing here?
I'm pickpocketing Theren.
What are you trying to pickpocket from him?
For his coin purse.
All right, make a perception check then. You manage to take, let's say, you take 5 gold coins out of his purse.
I say, to my elven brothers, behold my generosity. Sprinkle out the 5 gold coins to the nearest 5 elves around us.
As you do that, some people notice and start saying in Elven to those who understand it, "Oh, they're giving stuff away! Quick!" And soon you have a crowd around you.
Oh, fuck.
And you're starting to get a little bit nervous when you hear someone say, "All right, back off! Back off. These are honored guests." And a man comes up to you wearing leather armor and a dark green cloak. And he says, in Elven, he says, "Greetings. Greetings, Brynn. It's been a while.
It most certainly has.
You may not remember me. We've never met, but never met personally, but surely you see, and you do notice that he is the second in command of the Forest Watch. He says, I'm Roland Hennell.
Well met, Roland. And don't call me Shirley. I am Brynn.
Caffin told me that you had some strange travelers. And he looks at them.
Indeed. I have picked up some noble friends along the way.
I say perfect Elvish. Thank you for allowing me into your city. I'm honored.
He nods and says, thank you for helping Hotch. He is valuable to us here. I've been told to bring you to Aramil. You'll be our guest tonight. Follow me. He starts clearing away through the throngs of people who are now watching and leads you to the Elven Temple. So as you get closer, you can see that this is an arched hall lined with large windows depicting the good elven gods. And on the outside of the building, there is a long, wide staircase that runs along the exterior wall to the balcony and to a tower with a lattice dome made of white wood inlaid with silver vines, leaves, and flowers. You guys can tell from the carvings in the passageway and what Theren was able to tell you there that this temple is devoted to Frula Stardancer, the goddess of the moon. He takes you in, not up the stairs, but through the doors on the main hallway. And as you enter, you get to see the windows of the elven gods. Each have a altar that is dedicated to them underneath the windows. So let me just gotta find this moment. So kind of the first ones you see here is a golden altar for King Yosef Oakveins, a brass altar for Queen Arcatania, a bronze altar for Zisa Freyfont, a silver altar for Frula Stardancer, and as you pass there and you note that there is a copper shrine for Moraganor Moonblade.
Oh, Moraganor!
And you're led up the staircase inside the hall that leads to the balcony, and there, standing out looking over the pond and over the tents and buildings of Silverstand, is an older elf who his golden hair has like hints of gray in it. He says, "Greetings. I'm Eremo Lathalas. You are our honored guests, a little bird tells me." "I've heard of your deeds and of you as you traveled here, but I would hear from you yourself. Introduce yourself."
Why, I'm Brynn Isosceles of Silverstand. I've had many an adventure and have returned home to ensure its safety and to help the good elves that have taken refuge.
Welcome back, Brynn. It's good
Along
to see
the way,
you
I
again.
picked up some noble companions and will let them introduce themselves.
I am Eikooc.
Not all at once, though.
I'm Eikooc, a wizard from southern lands, the Halgud people, and captain of the Sea Ghost. I'm very thankful for you allowing me into your city.
Well met, Eikooc. And thank you for your service in rescuing Hotch. Although he is not one of us, he still serves the Elven Kingdom and the Zana that we protect. Zana is the name of like the world. If you are able to help us, then you are welcome here as well. Well met.
I will do what I can.
Greetings, my name is Kelnozz. I ventured far and wide across these lands after some unpleasantness in the Underdark.
It's been many centuries since the Dark One has stood in Silverstand. But if you are willing to help us and protect the elves, you are welcome here.
I will.
I am Theren, sworn dragoon to Moraganor.
Welcome, Theren, servant of Moraganor. Well, it has been a great relief to hear that there are those who seek to help us and those to help our allies. Now, Brynn, I'm glad you've returned home, but what brings you back?
ran into some trouble in the town of Seaton, and most unfortunately, the legend of Silverstand was slipped from our lips. We've come back to ensure that it remains safe, and seeing as how there are so many weary elves here, we'd like to help as many as we can and bring the elves back into favor in the lands of our country.
As you tell him about Silverstand slipping, he looks very grave. And as you talk about the elves being restored in the land, he gets a wry smile on his face. And he says, you always were adventurous and optimistic, Brynn. I had feared that Silverstand had come to the attention of the humans. More and more they've seemed to have tested our borders. I do fear that soon we may not be able to dissuade them by tricking them into the paths of monsters, or even, I hate to say, but by killing their patrols. Soon some will come looking. It was unfortunate for you to have let this slip, but brave of you to come and face and tell us and face the consequences. And truthfully, it's just only a matter of time before the humans look up into the mountains for us. Already the dwarves dig to the south. I have not been resting easily. But we will discuss this tomorrow. It has already grown late, and I wish to have a celebration for you. We will discuss business in the morning.
Excellent. I've been missing the elven wine. What the humans make is hogwash.
It's most unsuitable for such a refined taste as we have.
Unsuitable.
He says, perhaps I can spare some wine, but food and water have been very difficult here. We struggle to maintain enough food. We are able to conjure food thanks to the blessings of the Elven Kingdom, to King Yosaf Oakveins. But even that can only go so far. And as he says that, he raises his hand and signals, and another woman elf comes walking out. Greetings, I am Vidania. She conjures a spell, and her magic looks like bronze fire, or brass fire rather. And after a moment, she casts a spell, and the bronze fire sweeps over a nearby table, and it's filled with fruits and some meats, but mostly fruits and grains and kind of simple food, but looks very much real, with cups of water. She says, "Eat. We will bring in some musicians and merriment." I am sorry, but you'll have to find the room to sleep outside. There's no more room anywhere in Silverstand.
We are accustomed to sleeping in the wild. This will be The safety of your city is more than enough.
So shortly afterwards, some more elves start coming in. Most of them seem like they're fairly clean, and most of them are either wearing robes, the same kind of white robes that Aramil and Vidania are wearing, or leather armor with the green cloaks. And people start eating, and they're drinking kind of reservedly. After a while, Aramil comes out with a very old bottle and starts pouring it just for the adventurers. What do you guys want to do at this festivity?
I think I'm gonna eat very reservedly and try and, you know, save food for the people, the elves that are there.
Okay. Kelnozz, what are you guys gonna do?
Kevin said BRB.
Oh, right. Okay, so Brynn or Eikooc or Theren?
I'm going to eat mildly as well, but of course take my fair share of the fine wine and look for perhaps childhood friends or acquaintances of old.
Okay. And Theren, what do you do during this feast?
I try to follow the customs, or ask people about how they live in Silverstand, and maybe seek out some Sumerian sea bass to sample.
Okay, what kind of questions are you gonna ask about Silverstand?
It's more about like the ways of elves living in their own city, like day-to-day life, and what they eat, what they do for work, and lay of the land and stuff like that.
So you get into a conversation with one of the priests that work here, that worship here, and he tells you that for most of its time, Silverstand is just a religious site. The moon pond is something where, when the moon is full, the white tower appears, and centuries ago, Frula Star Dancer and the elven gods would be waiting on the moon tower when it appeared, and the elves would have huge feasts there and worship the moon. In recent times, the moon tower always appears when the moon is full and in the lake, but there hasn't been any gods in it. And basically the town it's not even a town, it's like just a site that has kind of this temple here, and there are some elves who are born here that are either born to work in the temple, or there's a small contingent of elves who are born and are trained as rangers to protect the Silverstand and the surrounding area, known as the Forest Watch.
Sorry.
So, Brynn, as you're having this party and walking around kind of looking for acquaintances, this one kind of gangly elf around the same age of you says from behind you, "Well, I don't believe it! Look what the cat dragged in! Brynn Isosceles! I thought we were rid of you for good!" And you turn around to see your old childhood rival,
Ooh.
Lucan Equilateral.
Oh.
Lucan. I see you're still up to your old trick. Haven't changed a bit.
Well, at least I didn't run away from my home.
What you call running away, I call gathering friends, gathering resources to fight the good fight.
Well, I hope you don't lose them like you lost that dagger.
Oh, you just won't let that one go, will you? Perhaps you could tell me where you hid it, and we could move on with our life.
He looks a little nervous and says, well, I'll tell you. I did let it go. For a few hundred gold.
Brynn, can you tell me about this dagger?
Please tell, who did you...
First of all, Brynn, make a insight check, please.
Sorry?
Make an insight check, please. It's been a while since you've talked to Lucan. So you're having a hard time figuring out if he's absolutely certain, but you think you see a glint in his eyes that makes you think that it's possible he's actually telling the truth.
Well, Lucan, who then did you sell this dagger to?
Well, I sold it to a merchant. I didn't ask for his name. Didn't care to know. But he told me he was on his way to Matasco.
Matasco?
Oh, I hope he threw it into a river.
Oh, Brynn, this guy sure is an asshole. Can you tell us about the origin of that dagger? Does it have sentimental value to you?
It has a long line in my family heritage.
It was his father's dagger. He didn't trade it very well.
I wasn't talking to you, Square. Tell me more, Brynn.
Yes, it appears one night our acquaintance Lucan here slipped into my room and has taken it. Because it was something shiny that he just had to have. Now it sounds like he's sold it to the lowest bidder, just for spite.
'Tis quite spiteful.
Well, he deserved it. Think he's so good and all.
Now, why would an elf deserve to have his favorite dagger taken away and stolen from him in the middle of the night? You're being very obtuse.
I don't like these words that you keep using, Dark One. I don't care if you did save that furball. You know one wrong word from me, and I'm sure you could be thrown out of this whole valley. What did you say your name was again?
Are you speaking to me?
Do you see any other dark ones around here?
Ooh. They call me Kelnozz. It's a name you'll be good to remember.
Well, I'm sure I will. Now I have something to say to you. Get away from me, Kelnozz!
Oh, Lucan.
And he just turns around, storms off.
That Lucan! Lucan!
I can't believe it.
He's certainly not my favorite elf, and I'm surprised he's still alive with how he treats others. For some reason, he's won the favor of some of the higher ups in the Elven Temple here, and I still don't understand why.
Well, perhaps in the middle of the night, there could be some sort of accident. If you know what I mean, Brynn.
Eikooc, do you want to do anything before during the party?
I think I'll probably just talk to people there about the magic, like any sort of magic, like just general conversation and curiosity about any sort of magical knowledge and that sort of thing.
You're not interested in this premeditated murder plot that we're working on?
No, I think I'm gonna do my own thing.
All we're gonna do is interrogate him.
We're just gonna tie him up.
You talk around and you hear that there is a elf in the valley that came as a refugee from somewhere in the Coldwind Peninsula named Jarsali Azaki.
And who is that again?
He's Eikooc learns that this is an elven wizard
Oh, okay.
living somewhere in the valley.
Okay.
So the party goes on well into the night, past midnight, and the party is paused to observe the zenith of the crescent moon. And after a few hours, people go to bed and leave the temple. And you guys are told that you can sleep anywhere where there's floor, whether it's in the temple or on the ground, but that all beds have been taken account for.
The moon was quite beautiful, I must say.
So where are you guys gonna camp? In the temple or outside the temple?
I like the fresh air. I would prefer to camp outside of the.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll join them.
Kelnozz, Theren?
Yeah, I'll stay with the party.
Yeah, I'll do this.
Okay. So you guys set up your camps outside the temple and turn in for a long rest. All except for Theren, who finds he cannot sleep. And after a few hours, you feel a compulsion. And you find yourself almost like in a dream. What's the word I'm trying to think? A sleepwalking kind of like in a trance like way. You find yourself moving towards into the temple and to the great window of Moraganor Moonblade. And on the altar before you is a copper-colored candle and a box of matches.
Oh.
Eat it.
So am I like aware of any rituals here that are normally done with this?
Yeah, it is customary to light candles in many religious ceremonies.
Okay, well I light this candle.
You light the candle, and the flame is copper, and little streaks of lightning crackle around it. You kneel down on the ground and pray to Moraganor. And though the moon is shining through the window, it's dark in the temple. And when you close your eyes in prayer and open them up, you see light, and you look up and realize that you're standing on the balcony of the moon of the temple, and before you is all of the tents of Silverstand. Right now, it seems like it is somehow dusk, and the tents have all shifted, and now instead of being patchwork and of different colors and materials, they're all uniform and in a line. And what's before you looks more like an army than a camp of refugees.
Hmm.
And from behind you, you hear a voice that sounds very smooth, but at the same time echoes inside of your head and in your chest with a weight to it. And he says, "Rise, Theren. I expected you sooner." And you turn to see a tall, strong elven man with long, flowing chestnut brown hair and piercing hazel eyes with dull copper skin. He wears white enameled elven plate mail inlaid with copper depicting his holy symbol, the crescent moon with a black greatsword piercing it. And his armor also depicts major elven battles. And in his hand, or under his arm, he carries a great helm made of copper with stag antlers sprouting from the top, and carries with him a long, slender greatsword made of obsidian. And before you is Moraghanar Moonblade.
Oh man.
Oh man.
My lord. Your will is my command. What would you have me do?
He paces for a moment and looks at you with a piercing gaze that both looks admonishing but also understanding. And he says, "You've disappointed me, Theren. I drew you here so that you could deal with the Follows Cairn, but instead you've dealt with them and made a pact."
Oh, they said they had your blessing. They must be liars.
They are indeed. And I understand that you were desperate to save your friend Brynn. He grasps your hands where the slice mark is, and copper lightning enshrouds your hand for a moment, and the slice is gone, and he says, "You're not bound by your pact. Why I've brought you here is precisely to deal with this group and how they invoke my name in their doings. They've lost sight there. They think that vengeance and cruelty are justice. And while perhaps there is room for retribution and repayment, I cannot stand by and let them cause more cruelty to innocents, human or elf, in my name."
I see. Well, I met one of their kind, of course, as you must know, Ilyas, Star Weeper. But is he truly the leader of this group? Who is responsible for their actions?
Ilyas is but a minor pawn. And you've met another on the sea, on the boat that you now claim is your home. But who the leader is on this realm, I cannot see that. But I suspect that this group has been entranced and bewitched by Rabio Bloodriver, who is the elven god, the elven evil god of anger and fury. I fear he has cast his red ruby fire into the hearts of many elves and humans alike in the peninsula. Now, I have 2 commands of you. You must atone for your error, even if your heart was honorable. You must help Aramil find a new place to bring the elves. And you must find the source of Rabio in the peninsula. Put an end to it. You will find an ally to justice in Burl.
Who?
You will find her.
Hmm.
I will send more signs, though this time I ask that you heed them with more urgency.
I vow that these missions will be my focus, O Lord of Justice.
He places the greatsword across or down in front of you, and he says, "Place your hand on the blade and swear."
I do that.
As you grab the blade and swear and close your eyes, you open your eyes again, and you're standing or kneeling in front of the altar in the dark in the Silverstand temple. And that's where we'll end tonight.
You are now chosen of Ragnar, +5 to all stats.